Joshua Joseph, we've given you enough
More
time to
music on
rest. Let's give him a round of
trendybeats.com.
applause. Joshua Joseph, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. And good morning. So please, while my media team are getting ready, my judges, I will want you to pardon me. If you can look at my dress, you see that it's a bit torn. I actually had an accident coming this morning. So I was rushing down here and I had an accident. So it's ruined my whole outfit of the day. But regardless, we are still here. We'll still push it. And my audience, I've started my timer, media. Please. Oh, thank God. Alhamdulillah. Thank God my life is spared. Okay. So, I'm ready when you are. So, growing up in the rural area of Yauri local government, Kebbi State, almost 2 decades ago, my grandmother always lament. Generally, Akasheming Anna, meaning General Hospital killed my child. 3 years ago, my grandfather suffered almost the same fate when he came back from hospital and he went totally blind, which have raised the question in my mind ever since. Is it the system that has failed us or the doctors that are not competent? The questions remains unanswered. Ladies and gentlemen, Joshua Joseph is standing before you with a tag number DEC 0660526. Now we have a lingering question in the status quo. That is today's word. Where are we? We still live in that era where informations are not being passed down to people who need it most. Information are being siloed, they are being hoarded, and they are being distributed among a particular set of number, leaving the rural area who make up most of the population at a disadvantage. Now, what have we brought to bridge in this gap? That is why we have introduced to you the Nigerian National Health Record. Let me have the landing page, media. What is this Nigerian National Health Record? This is a unified database that has all Nigerian record, their health record, and everything they need in a hospital. Now, why do we believe that this is the next big problem? Because it bridges the gap that we have in this current world, which is what? Number one, it saves time during emergency and reduces complication. You see, many emergency cases, and according to statistics from the Federal Medical Health of Nigeria, over 250,000 people die every year at emergency due to medical complication. Now, the problem is not that the doctors are not competent. It is because they don't have their previous record. Imagine a patient that has a penile operation. You take him to the MRI. Definitely, that is going to tear him apart from within, and he will die in less than a minute. But then, when we have this national health record, it is going to make sure the doctors have the previous record of his health visit and his visitation to the hospital. Also, this is very useful for the people that cannot read or write very well. Many people come from all within Sokoto to hospital, but then they don't maybe understand English, they don't know how to read and write. So if they are coming back the next time, what are they still going to do? They are still going to be confused because they don't know what the doctor did the last time. So when you have this medical health record, the doctor's prescription, his last treatment, his medication, and his prognosis will all be displayed, and the current doctor or physician can access it. Now, we are very heavy on data protection. That is why we are enacting the National Nigeria Data Protection Right from 2011. There is, contrary to what my judge may believe, the check file, or they call it cache file, is not being stored. It is deleted every 3 minutes after the doctor have logged in. Why? So that those that might want to infiltrate or hack the system will not be able to leak patients' vital information. Now, this is our landing page. You see, so when you log in, this is what you have. This is what our NNHR looks like. Let's go to the patient dashboard. Now, what do we have on the patient dashboard? On the patient dashboard, you will see his current medication. Oh, maybe I am on a medication of whatever drug it is. It is there. Reminder can be set for this. Also, in case he needs any health tips, is given relating to his sickness. Now, there's also settings. It's not displaying here. There's also settings where patient can choose to switch languages. For people in Sokoto, Babu Turanshi, Kakoma Hausa, there is Hausa language. There is the three basic language in Nigeria there: the Hausa, the Yoruba, and the Igbo. And furthermore, as time goes on, we will try to inculcate other sub languages into it. Now, let's move on to the next page. Now, this is the diagnosis of the patient. That is, a patient has rights to his own information. Definitely, we are very heavy on protecting your right. So he can see his diagnosis, his results. And one also key feature of this NNHR that we have introduced is that it saves money. Now, if you go to every hospital, you have to take either genotype, blood group. Some people have taken blood group tests for over 20 times. The only time you need to take blood group to confirm is to confirm 3 times. And when you have your blood group, you can keep using it for life unless there is medical reasons for it. So instead of you conducting blood group tests, this test, hematology test every time, the doctors have it. It also saves the time of the doctor and reduce stress. Last year, a doctor died in Lagos after 36 hours call. If this NNHR has been there, right, that time he spent on that patient will be drastically reduced by over 50%. Hence, we are saving the life of both our patients and our doctor. And when they see that the healthcare is improved, Jackpot syndrome will also reduce. Now, let's go to the next page. These are the treatments that is being done. So the doctors can see this, the patients can also do this. I know an important question will rise. That's we are focused on the rural area, but most people in this rural area don't have a smartphone. That is why we have introduced the use of USSD and OTP. So for the OTP, that is when the doctors need to access the record of the patients. They have the OTP and he can log into it. Then the patient can give them the OTP. Of course, everybody in the rural area have at least a button phone. That is why they can have a NIN and BVN. And I would also like to make it clear that we are going to make this on a national scale. That is why it is going to be incorporated by the Federal Medical Health and Safety Federal Medical Health and Safety Awareness of Nigeria. Hence, it is going to cover tertiary, primary, secondary, and even public health institution. Nobody is left out, down to the grassroots. Now, just like as I was saying, in future development, we want to have a platform just like this, but can be accessible using USSD. Just like the way you can have your mobile banking, you can use your USSD to check your current stats instead of, he must have a smartphone. Even if you have the smartphone, sometimes the network are not there. How do we plan to implement this? This is where we are taking it serious to go to the grassroots. We are going to form a G10 force that goes to every local government, to the depths of the rural area. Let's take Sokoto for example. We are going to start with 5 local governments. We have Dengeshuni, Wamako, Tambuwal, Dogondaji, and Yabo. Then they will be led by all these G2 leaders, so that every nook and cranny, they will be aware that, they actually can enjoy these benefits. And as I said, one of the advantage of having this your NNHR, Nigeria National Health Record Number, is because it can be used as a means of new identity. We all know that in Nigeria, what we use as identity is our NIN and our BVN. But this is going to be on a national scale, that even if you go to bank, you can either give them your NIN, your BVN, or your NNHRN. It's going to be Very perfect. Now, what we look for in the future to implement into this? One, we are trying to for further development, we want to include biometrics data and facial capturing, so that in some emergency where the patient cannot speak and they could not find any ID on him, they only need his fingerprint, his tongue print, or his face. In this current phase, we are still on it. So, and what also, we want to make it a global scale so that it can extend to other countries. Ladies and gentlemen, what have we done today? We have proven to you that this current world have a problem, and the next solution is not for us to wait, but for us to take action. We don't have to wait for the future before we do things that are futuristic. The future is here and the future is now. We can save thousands of lives. We can save millions of naira. We can save our doctors, our patients, and our rural area when we incorporate Nigeria National Health Record. Thank you, and I'm open to questions.